Hey guys, it's Dave, and today I'm making a video furthering my discussion on the new iPad from Apple. Um, since I made my video yesterday about the keynote address, it's got a huge amount of views and a lot of comments, so thanks to everybody who supported that video. Um, I have had some time to think about this and kind of digest it since yesterday, and we were talking about it in work and everything, and it just sort of struck me that I've kind of had a little bit of a change in heart about it, and I'm kind of possibly thinking that this isn't really the direction that I would want in a tablet device. And also, I suppose from a point of view, a lot of people are saying, to me, are you really going to buy it? And a lot of probably in that last video that I did, probably only 1 in 3 of the comments were actually positive towards the device. Sorry, that's the little ping chime from my mail. Um, a lot of the comments were negative, like I say, and there's a huge amount of people out there who are very, very disappointed with this device, and a lot of people feel that Apple got it very wrong. And here's the thing, I think that within the context of Apple and what we've come to expect from over the years, Apple did what Apple do, and that is they created a proprietary consumer interface, a device that keeps everything pretty restricted. And from that, and what I mean by that is, what I really want is basically a netbook that happens to be a tablet. And I think that's what a lot of people want. And if we compare it to what this device is supposed to be fulfilling in terms of Apple's, in terms of that market share, and in terms of, I suppose, the type of device that's missing from Apple's computer lineup, it's a netbook really. And really, a netbook, even though it's kind of a secondary machine to your main machine, which you might have a desktop and then you might have a netbook as your mobile computer, a netbook in many ways is also a full-featured PC. And although it's incredibly slow and they tend to run Intel Atom processors, most recently the Pine Trail version, they're still a PC, just quite underpowered. And by that I mean they have a 10-inch screen, small form keyboard. They've got Ethernet, a couple of USB, a display port, usually VGA, of course. They have specifications that we recognize to be a computer. They have decent, some of them have reasonable sized hard drives. Some of them are solid state. Some of them go up to 250 gigs. Usually start around 120, 160. They have cameras, like a webcam. They've got microphones built in, etc. They run Windows, they run Linux, they run file system based operating systems that we can configure, customize, and install any applications we want. We can add in any devices that we want. We can just connect up a camera, we can connect up a USB hard drive, whatever. We can do a lot of things with them. Obviously, with a netbook, it's not really advisable to do too much at one time because they're at the moment, by and large, single-core processors with not much power, so not much multitasking anyway. But I would much prefer a netbook to this device. And it's kind of sad, really, because that there are some really great benefits from this type of device and from what Apple have done with it. To remember what we're looking at here is a 9.7-inch IPS display, a touch-based display, and it's capacitive, and it's configurable, the actual keyboard, to different situations, which is really just as a result of not having its own separate keyboard, of course. But there's been a lot of reports that obviously that keyboard as well is a little bit clunky under certain circumstances as well. But my point is that the netbook is much closer to a normal PC than the tablet. The tablet isn't really even a secondary computer. It's not really a secondary PC, or Mac or PC, if you will. It's really just a companion device to your computer. In order to really get the full benefit of this, for syncing music with iTunes or syncing your photographs or all your other files, you really actually need to have a Mac or a PC. You really need to actually have a main machine, whether your main machine is a notebook, like a proper laptop, or a desktop machine. You kind of need one. And that's where other tablets won't make that mistake, because HP's tablet will be running Windows 7. And running Windows 7 Home Premium or Home Basic or whatever they end up running, at least then I know that I've got an OS that I can install any common applications that I've been using for years on that. I can download things, I can configure it, go into the control panel, I've got a device manager, I've got familiar things. It's not a proprietary OS, it's not an OS that's based primarily on applications that I need to download and purchase and download off the internet. Now, that's the other point. The OS on the iPad, the name of which apparently sounds like sanitary towel, fair enough. Basically, the OS doesn't allow multitasking. Obviously, we've said there's no camera on the device before. That's a real shame. Although the battery life may be very good. You know, I don't know what it's going to be like under gaming performance, what limited games you can play. We all knew that we weren't going to get OS 10, but rather kind of quasi-hybrid between OS 10 and the iPhone / iPod Touch OS. But also there's no flash in the browser and there's no multitasking. So really, some serious problems right there. And for me, I mean, when I think of myself, how I would make use of this device if I'm going on vacation somewhere, I'm going to want to actually make YouTube videos. I'm going to want to, it's just me. I'm also maybe want to go on Skype or something, or do some video conferencing. That's not going to be possible, and a device like this would have been absolutely sweet to do it. Also, the fact that the video is restricted to 1024 by 768 is just kind of maybe a bit too small for some people. Also, the video is not widescreen, and on the subject of it being a companion device, I have to use the iPad like an iPod. I have to connect it into the computer, and I can't do any file sharing. I can't connect to any of the devices remotely, any other machines, file sharing, nothing like that. And also, the video can't be exported to an external display through HDMI or any other type of port, which is a big drawback. Although the price is pretty competitive, I suppose overall, I think that there will be other tablets out there and that are similarly priced but running better OSs. And I think that an Android-based tablet isn't going to be a whole heap better, but I definitely feel that the fact that there's no flash on the device is a huge downfall. We've seen this on the iPod Touch, on the iPhone. The fact that Apple just don't like flash. It runs reasonably well on my Mac. I've never had too many problems with flash. Safari rarely crashes on me, even Chrome browser, you've been using that lately, and no problems on there. No problem with flash on the Mac, but on the portable devices, this always seems to be an issue. And to me, flash is the multimedia glue that that holds the internet together. And without that kind of flash content, flash games, flash whatever, I don't know how you can fully get the entire experience of the internet. So how Steve Jobs can say that this is the best way of using the internet, I don't know. It is also, of course, an ebook reader. And I think that iBooks is a great little application, and it will probably be as popular as iTunes in no length of time. But the simple fact of the matter is that I don't think that this device will make a good ebook reader in comparison to some of the others. It's just a regular IPS backlit display, which means even in good lighting, although preferably not in bad lighting, but even in good lighting, this reading this long term up against your face, it will kind of put a bit of strain on your eyes. I could talk about this a little bit longer. In general, I'm not too thrilled about it, and I'd love to know what your comments are. It's going to be interesting to see the reviews of this, at least the unbiased ones, because at the moment everybody's been buzzing about it, but I think they're buzzing about it off of a lot of the hype and expectation that came with this. It hasn't been what I expected, and if Apple think that just because it's got elaborate touch features in there that it's going to impress us, and it's got an accelerometer, big deal. These are things that are not new, and there was nothing in it that shocked us. I mean, we as consumers now are pretty jaded. We've kind of seen it all, and in general, I wasn't blown away. So I'm not interested in the applications. I want to be able to use the applications I'm familiar with. I want to be able to stick Firefox on this thing. I want to be able to run Chrome, but no, I can't. I can't really get in there, customize it, or change anything in it. It's a restricted device, and that's why I'm not too thrilled. Guys, love to hear your comments on this again, and I'm sure I'll be making further videos about this as well. Talk to you soon. Good luck.